Hi, I'm Ian, and this is a pandan leaf. It's labeled as the vanilla of Asia, but I really have to disagree with that. Unlike the vanilla that is expensive and hard to grow, pandan is cheap and relatively easy to grow in abundance, at least in where I live. It's literally in everyone's backyard. I think it also has a unique flavor profile. It's fragrant but not sweet, and it also has so much more utility as an ingredient. There are three main techniques when cooking with pandan. The first one is to use its juice, the second is to wrap and cook, and the third one is where you infuse it in your foods. And we'll explore these techniques with 4 different dishes that I'll be cooking today. So the first dish is Nasi Lemak. Nasi Lemak is Malaysia's national dish, and it's basically this rich and fragrant rice because it's cooked in coconut milk. To start, we'll need to extract the pandan juice. Now, if you haven't seen pandan before, it's basically this bouquet of leaves with a tougher stem, and as you go up, you'll find these softer, dark green leaves. If you get closer, you'll get a whiff of a natural sweet scent. Here, I trim off the white and tougher parts and also any brown bits on the leaves. Then, snip this up into 2 to 3 inch pieces so it'll blend easier later. Add this into a blender with just a splash of water to help it start blending. You don't need a lot of water because the leaves are already high in moisture content. Then strain this and either with a cheesecloth or strainer. I was surprised at how much water is left, even when it looks dry. So just keep pressing and squeezing with a spatula, and finally you'll be left with this pleasant looking ball of dark green fiber and you have your pandan juice. Now time for the rice. Give the jasmine rice a couple of rinses and then add in the co-stars of the show, coconut milk and pandan juice. Top it up with some water to pass the Asian finger rice test. Finally, season with salt, neutral oil, lemongrass and a knotted pandan leaf to infuse the rice with. Now, I don't usually cook nasi lemak at home, but my rice cooker was basically a coconut milk diffuser because it smelled so good. Also, I was surprised at how bright green this looked. A lot of recipes online will tell you to use green food coloring, but this is my proof to you that you don't need to use food coloring at all. Keep it natural. I topped off my nasi lemak with the classic ikan bilis, kacang, cucumber, boiled egg and a spicy sambal. And there you have it, a green pandan nasi lemak. And now you're probably asking, Ian, where is the taste test? Well, I have to make my side dish first, which is also our second dish of the day, pandan chicken. Pandan chicken is a popular Thai dish, so of course the marinade starts with a blend of classic Thai ingredients and seasoning. I chopped up some lemongrass, ginger, shallots, garlic, and don't be scared of my palm sugar, it's just crystallized and it's still safe to consume. Add all of this into a blender alongside fish sauce, sesame oil, oyster sauce, and coconut milk. Now I made a mistake here of adding 200 grams of coconut milk instead of 20 grams, so you can see the marinade is way whiter than it should be. Mix it with some chicken thighs and set aside for an hour or so. Here comes the pandan. We're gonna wrap the chicken pieces with the leaf. Now the leaf has a natural bend, so I like to press down to break the spine of the leaf so it flattens, making it easier to wrap the chicken pieces. There are a couple of different techniques to wrap this, but I find this way the easiest. Simply fold it over the chicken, flip, and repeat. Finally, lock everything in by poking a toothpick through it. Then put your favorite music and repeat this till you get a tray of beautifully pandan wrapped chicken. All that's left to it is to fry. So what does the pandan leaf actually do? First, frying the leaves releases the pandan fragrance into the chicken and you'll definitely smell it when you're frying. The wrap also locks in moisture by preventing over-frying. While the exposed bits become nice and crispy, the unexposed sort of steam and gets super juicy when you bite into it. And by far my favorite thing about the chicken are all the fibrous bits from the ginger and lemongrass that gets fried into these crispy strands. If I could do this again, I would definitely use the right amount of coconut milk so it would have been more fragrant with the spices instead of just a coconutty flavor. And I would also keep the chicken slices a bit bigger so you get a juicier and more well-rounded bite. And here's our second dish done, pandan chicken. Before we move on to the remaining sweet recipes, if you're enjoying the video, please drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel. It would really mean a lot to me. I make videos about food that I'm interested in and it would be great to have more of you around. Now, the third dish I'm making is pandan kaya, Malaysia's famous and beloved coconut custard. So just like you would with any custard, mix whole eggs, of course coconut milk, and pandan juice to give its classic green look and pandan flavor. Whisk till it's smooth without any strands, then place it over a double boiler and get ready for life's lesson on being patient, and I had to learn this the hard way. I thought cranking the heat higher would make the process faster, but I ended up with green scrambled eggs. So make sure to keep the heat low and enjoy the process so you don't end up like me. To salvage the custard, fortunately I could just blend it and pass it through a strainer again, and then it was as good as new. A couple more minutes on the double boiler on very low heat, and you'll know it's ready when it has this thick, custardy consistency. Jar this up and you're ready to eat. I typically eat this with white toasted bread and butter, but I only had croissants at home at that time, which is basically the same thing. So I slathered this with kaya and got sent to bread heaven. I promise you, making this at home is always so much better than the store-bought version. It's way richer and fresher, and I promise you it's worth it. Now for the final dish of this video, we're making Kuih ketayap. Kuih ketayap is a popular dessert that's basically a rolled crepe filled with coconut flakes. For the filling, you can use either fresh or dry coconut flakes, and we're gonna flavor it with, again, palm sugar. So in a pan, not a hot one like this one, but something that is more at the room temperature, add in some water and slowly melt your palm sugar on a low heat. Once it dissolves into this syrup, pour in your coconut flakes and mix well till it resembles the texture and color of wet sand, and that's your filling done. Then for the crepes. Very similar ingredients again, with flour, coconut milk, salt, sugar, pandan juice, and a bit of vegetable oil. Mix and strain so you get a smooth batter, perfect for your pandan flavored crepes. I've never made crepes before, so sit back and enjoy my crepe making disaster class. And if you're just like me and have never made crepes before, here are some mistakes that you want to avoid. First, I spritzed some oil, but that did not coat my non-stick pan with oil properly. My pan was also too hot, so as you see, I couldn't spread out my batter quick enough. This resulted in me desperately adding batter wherever I could, which made the crepe a bit too thick. It was also hard to flip, and everything broke apart really quickly when I agitated it with a spatula. But I did a quick taste test, which tasted super good, and that kept me going. The second time around, I oiled the pan with a paper towel instead, so I get a more even coating, and I kept the pan on a very low heat as well, so I can spread my batter easier. This resulted in a thinner batter, and the edges came off much easier. When I thought it was ready, I flipped it with my chopsticks, and voila! I was actually so happy, but only to be met with disappointment when I realized my chopstick trick was a one-trick pony. It's definitely my skill issue, but I just could not flip the crepe with chopsticks again. Just as I was about to give up, my brilliant mind thought, oh, why not just steam the crepe instead? So I slapped the lid on, and the crepes actually turned out beautifully. Now it might not look perfect, or it's probably the wrong way to do it, but it's what worked for me. So definitely work smart and not hard. Finally, let's burrito these crepes up. Spread a generous filling of the coconut flakes, fold the sides in, and roll it up to make your imperfect but delicious kuih ketayap. What I really liked about this was how smooth, silky, and shiny the crepes were, which I think came from the oil in the batter. So these are the 4 dishes I made with the pandan leaf. I had a lot of fun cooking with the leaf that grew in everyone's backyard in Malaysia apparently, and I hope this inspires you to try out some of the recipes. Again, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what ingredients I should try next. And again, thank you so much for watching.
咁樣仲靚嘅。
OK 嗎？
pandan 都很香，哇，那pandan很香的。